Can we be heard? Hello?
Hey!
Oh, we're good? Okay.
It's your boys! ESU Esports! Yay! My name's Andrew.
Connor.
Corbin.
Caleb.
And we are here for our first podcast here for ESU Esports. We got a list of topics here that we're going to bring up to you today. If you guys have any topics, please leave them in the chat. I don't know where it's at. I think it's over there. It's over here at this guy right here. It's at my boy. So, what do we have first? Talk to us, Corbin.
We have club history, and the first little topic is about the first year of the club,
Okay, our
which
first
was
year.
last year.
Yeah. That was
We're pretty young, yeah.
Yeah, we just started.
I felt like so long last year, though. I don't know. Last year
it's been a
felt
journey.
like a while.
So, what happened last year is we, I believe we had a league team.
We did have
a league team. We had a presentation for the heads of the school that went very well.
Oh,
Yeah, we had 100 viewers?
Yeah, 100 people in attendance.
Yeah,
was
in attendance,
yeah.
and I think didn't we have
We had 70 people.
70
on
people
stream,
online,
too.
right?
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, what happened with that was we had some of students from our university play 5v5, and at the end, whatever team won in the best of one, right? It was best of one.
Yeah.
Best of one. They got some gift cards to GameStop. So obviously there was a bunch of presentations like you were saying about that.
Yeah, we had a whole stream setup. We had layouts. We had shoutcasters.
We had a little room where we played in.
Yeah.
It was
How was your
fun.
experience at shoutcasting?
It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, the
You
mic,
and Dom?
the mic died, but it was.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can hear me through Dom.
Yeah.
That it was great.
It was a good time.
A lot of people gave me compliments for that.
Yeah.
So I was really happy with that.
Hopefully to build a bigger and better one this year.
How was it playing?
Playing, seeming that, I mean, I personally felt like I was carrying, you know what I'm saying? So,
Wait, we were on the same team. What are you talking about?
So, I was playing Nasus top.
Nasus.
Yeah, so not really a top laner, but I also coordinated who went on what team, try to make it pretty balanced. So I said, oh, I'll play top, right? Yeah, I was decently big, but couldn't carry. We lost. Took an L.
Yeah.
Big oof.
Yeah, it was pretty sad.
I think I remember
the other
you ran
teams-
someone down though. I think
Yeah, I
remember
did. Yeah,
that.
'cause
you
you-
ran
yeah.
someone down.
You got it. You got it.
The other team's ADC was kind of too big.
He was
Yeah.
a little thick
He was a
boy.
little-
Yeah, Eric. He's
a little thick Tristana boy.
He's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
He's
I had to throw him on ADC. He was too good to put anywhere else.
You know, it's pretty bad when 3 people at the table have complete league experience, and then I'm just the 4th one. And I'm like, hey,
What is your view on the game, though?
Yeah, wait,
I play Renekton in jungle because I don't know what to do. I get bored.
So if League isn't your main game, what is your main game?
I am a first-person shooter. My main game is Siege.
Okay, Siege.
Yes.
Now, for those that don't know what Siege is,
It's
Rainbow Six.
Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. He started with I believe it was Ghost Recon franchise.
okay.
I can't remember what the first one was, but regardless, he started with
Looking at
the
chat.
Ghost Recon franchise and developed a essentially SWAT shooter game where it's 5v5 like League. It's also a competitive game, and you have more prep time. So you essentially defend a site, or you attack a site. You pick certain operators, kind of like League, I believe, what they're called.
champions,
Champions.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Bad
So-
Overwatch, yeah.
So you pick different operators. Each operator does their own thing, just like League, and you essentially set up the site in a way to defend it.
Right.
How you think they're going to attack, how well you think you can hold with different operators, and every site can be held multiple different ways, and then every site can be attacked multiple different ways, and you kind of just go that way. It's not so much like League. You guys have it's like one map, correct?
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
basically the same every time.
It is the exact same.
It's
for
the exact
like
same.
10 years.
Legit.
Okay.
For 10 years.
No, we got a little revamp.
Okay.
Little
True.
revamp.
It
What,
changes
like 2 or 3
season
years.
for season, maybe.
There is and then I think there's other modes, right? Like 3v3
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
are different maps.
On occasion.
How many
Okay.
it is.
Yeah. Siege is nothing like that.
Yeah.
So we have an actual competitive pool where
Mhm.
we take 9 maps usually per season, and they change, and then those are the competitive maps that you play. So there's 9 different maps that you need to learn to call outs, strats for, and then usually the maps will stay. Not too many maps get revamped. Maybe just some little minor tweaks per season, but not really too much. But like I said, it's a first-person shooter, and kind of competitive, very similar. If anyone plays CS:GO, it's kind of like
sounds
kinda like
similar.
CS:GO is what I
Yeah.
was.
Caleb, somebody asked, what are the ranks in Siege? Like, can you bottom to
Okay.
top.
Bottom rank would be copper. You start.
Yikes.
The way it goes, yes,
No, Pog.
it goes copper 4, copper 3, copper 2, copper 1. So it's an elo system, much like any other game. Then after copper, it goes bronze. So you'll have bronze 4,
Wait.
3, 2, 1.
There's something lower than bronze.
Oh no.
Then you
what
have
division?
you have silver, which goes 4, 3, 2, 1. Gold 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you come into the plat elo. Plat is like the notifiable rank.
Okay.
You'll really start to get into like the competitiveness of the game once you hit your plat rank.
Mhm.
That goes 3, 2, 1,
Mhm.
and then the top is diamond. I don't know what the top in league is.
Challenger.
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 Okay.
All
yeah.
hail. All hail the challenger.
Masters,
So-
Masters Challenger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so diamond would be the highest rank, and as you get higher up in the ranks, for copper, bronze, silver, and gold, they're spaced, I believe, like 100 or so elo between
Okay,
each
so
other.
it's like MMR.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like
MMR.
in league, it's Masters and Challenger, like top 500, top 200, right?
Something like that.
Something
Yeah,
like
so-
that.
Yeah,
Or
so
it's top 500, top 100, I think.
No, it's 200.
Is it?
Challenger's top 200.
Oh, okay.
So there will be, there's MMR based. It's just based off wins and losses as of now. It's not really too based off KD. And you'll, all the way up to gold, it'll be about 100 to 150 between ranks. An achievable amount, but the more you play, the less MMR you get.
Right.
Once you get to plat, it becomes about 300 between
And you're in
rank.
plat, right?
Yes, my level is about high plat. So
Gotcha.
plat 2, plat 1.
You got a big boy on the podcast.
Yeah, big boy. Yes, so it'll be about 300, and then between plat 1 and diamond, I believe is about 300 to 400 MMR as well.
Oh my god. Awesome. So I've been playing quite a bit of Rocket League, which is a little bit different.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That-
Rocket
that
League
game's
goes. It has
Interesting.
4 like I
Race
guess
cars.
divisions. Yeah, race car soccer.
Yeah.
It's got like go bronze 1, say it like that, and then there's 4 like sub ranks under. So it's like bronze
Yeah.
1, tier 1, bronze 1, tier 2. That goes to 4, and then the highest you go is like bronze 1, and then bronze 2, and then bronze 3, and then you go to silver. Then it goes to gold, and then it goes to plat, and then it goes diamond, and then I believe it goes all-star, superstar, champion,
Whoa.
and grand champion. So
That's pretty dope.
That's-
So it's like a lot of ranks.
it's a lot of ranks. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Now-
like plat is like you can learn a few mechanics and get to gold easily, but then like
Okay.
plat is kind of just like where
Is it like the next skill back gap?
Yeah.
There's like
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
okay.
Skill wall,
it's
yeah.
a
In the
big
ranks.
Yeah.
it's a big skill ceiling
Yeah.
in this
It's
game.
kind of the same way with Siege. You can get to gold fairly well, which is kind of learning how to play the game to shoot people.
Mm-hmm.
But
Saved.
once you try to get to plat, you really need to know
Like, yeah,
how to play
yeah.
the game.
Yeah, like I'm in diamond right now, and it's hard to rank up.
Yeah.
I need to practice on certain skills to start climbing again.
Now with Rocket League, you do have there's different cars, correct?
Yes.
Do the cars matter?
Yes,
They do.
Yeah, because for Rocket League players, the car that has been the top car for like ever has been the Octane. Is a car that you get when you first boot up the game, because of the size of the car, the height of the car, it all like changes the hitboxes for the car. So like a bigger car like I don't even know, like the Dominus. That's like that's a decent car, but other cars I forget what the name of it is. I think it's a Merc. That's like a big like a van kind of car, but that it's like slow, and it doesn't. You don't see it much in competitive play.
Yeah. Somebody asked, are we streaming this in a kitchen? We are in somebody's dorm room.
We are absolutely shooting
Good
in the kitchen.
eye.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, there's
somewhat like a kitchen.
It's
more,
a mini.
it's a kitchenette.
It's a mini.
yeah.
kitchen.
It's a kitchenette. I
We're
think
working with
that's
what
the
we
correct
have
term.
right now, so-
Yeah.
I feel like this is fairly good quality. Looking at the stream, it's not too bad.
It could
It's
be
not too
worse.
bad.
It could be worse.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a few different games, right? So you said a couple minutes ago we were talking about our club. We had a league team. We had some wins. We had some ups, some downs. But this year we're trying to expand, right? So I know you're trying to get a Siege team going.
Yes.
If we can find people, Rocket League, we're kind of open to all games right now. But competitively, what would you guys think of like maybe something other than those 3 games that we're talking about? Do you think anything's like on the up?
Somebody mentioned a HOTS team. That could
Yeah,
also
here's
be
the
Someone
something.
did.
Yeah.
I'll be totally down for HOTS.
HOTS is a pretty good game actually.
Yeah, I had like one of my friends from back at home kind of like mentoring me.
Excuse me.
Yo.
So
So yeah, I have someone like back at
Yikes.
home like mentoring me how to play HOTS and like who does what.
Mm-hmm.
And he says like it's easy to rank up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's
As if you have like a team mentality,
Yeah.
like a team first mentality, I
no,
think
you
you
definitely
could do
fine.
very well.
You know what's actually interesting about that game? I would say like a couple years ago, before like, I mean, you always have like League, CS:GO, Overwatch in the past couple years, like big, but like on ESPN, like top 10 plays in Heroes of the Storm, like while I'm working.
Yeah,
It was crazy,
really?
like
Yeah.
So I think that's like interesting how like even a game like Heroes of the Storm, which is kind of like smaller community, like on ESPN now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a hella fun game.
It's definitely funny because my freshman year, we the people across from us like knocked on our door and they're like, "Yo, do you know this game?" And they were watching ESPN, and it was like the collegiate like HOTS League or whatever it was. It was like that tournament. It was like very interesting that HOTS over anything was actually on, other than like League or like
maybe
CS:GO.
that's because like Blizzard's like I don't know like.
I mean, Blizzard
like,
Blizzard has
mean?
a lot of money, so
you can switch it to like.
I think they
just
ended up
chat.
making a
That's
deal
also
with
true.
If you could do
ESPN.
like that way maybe.
Because I think Overwatch is also being streamed on ESPN 3. Something
I don't know
like
which
that.
ESPN,
Yeah, it's
they
like-
made it. Siege actually
Oh,
just
kind of
made it to
accessible
ESPN
by-
as well. Their
Okay.
I believe it's their
Oh,
Premier League is
it the Twitch
Oh,
streamed
yeah,
by
yeah, it's a Twitch app.
ESPN. It's also stream. I mean, a lot of them are pushing more toward like streaming on YouTube, streaming on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that ESPN's actually picking up
Yeah.
some of these,
You got it.
not even just collegiate level, but
Save?
like
Just like
competitive
actual
level.
professional
Yeah, their
level,
professional level is
Oof.
really
Oof.
interesting.
Why is that?
I don't know.
But it also shows that like it's leaking into the collegiate level
Yeah.
too. So it's like the same thing as college football
Mhm.
and like college sports in general. It shows that the community is growing
Yeah.
and the business itself is actually booming.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now, what about so we see the obvious rise in the games League, CS:GO, you know, those PC dominant games that have kind of helped shape the way for esports.
Yeah.
What about this upcoming and growing battle royale scene? like
Nah, I mean,
like PUBG, I feel like is the main. I mean, Fortnite's kind of trying to tag on the back, but I think PUBG was kind of
the first.
H1Z1 was like
H-
the main.
H1Z1.
Minecraft.
Arma 3.
Dude, Minecraft, then DayZ, right? Then you have the Arma 3 mod for DayZ.
Yeah.
And then I'll say like H1. H1 had in my opinion, like H1 had like dropped the ball at that point.
They had
like,
the best.
because-
They had the
yeah.
best like battle royale game,
Mhm.
and the developers just didn't want to do their job.
I
so
feel
they
like
just
it was
kinda
because
let
the
it
guy
go.
isn't the guy who made H1 the guy who makes PUBG. So I feel like he just dropped the
No.
I
project.
don't think so.
the guy who made PUBG, PlayerUnknown, originally started with Arma 2, a mod for it. And that was like an Arma 2 DayZ mod that he then came in and made like a battle
Actual
royale
game, yeah.
to. So, but I believe H1 was, I would most likely say, the first standalone battle royale game.
It was.
I think
it
DayZ
was.
came out with their own standalone shortly after H1Z1
Yeah.
pushed it.
That
pushed
wasn't
it out.
the DayZ standalone. I believe though wasn't solely designed for battle royale. It was vamped off of the mod for Arma
Yeah.
that was more of like an open world
zombie survival kind of
exploration.
thing.
Yeah,
No,
like
yeah.
survival.
Yeah, you'd be right.
Then after H1, I believe they came in and then decided to do like a battle royale version.
Mm-hmm.
But I think definitely PUBG. You know, H1 did have a little bit of their league, and then PUBG I think is the big dominant one now.
I don't think anybody touches Fortnite right now.
Fortnite I feel like it's just like the god amongst like men right now of battle royale.
I think definitely because Fortnite they branched off into the console aspect where PUBG is mainly dominant.
Yeah,
PC.
I mean to your point though, I feel like I definitely see more PUBG like esports events than I do Fortnite.
Yeah,
Fortnite's still like growing that thing. I think.
I think what makes Fortnite so good is because of how accessible it is. Because when they released it to mobile, like everyone like lost their minds, and then they
and it's optimized.
Yeah,
Like you actually play it on mobile.
Yeah, and then they brought cross play
Yeah.
to everything basically.
Yeah.
The only thing you can
And-
do is PlayStation and Xbox.
Yeah.
Which I mean, understandable.
There's like PC. I believe you can play PC with Xbox,
Mhm.
PC with PS4,
For
PC.
Fortnite?
Yeah,
PC with
for
phone.
PC with
Yeah.
mobile.
Yeah.
The only thing is you can't. There's like there's no crossplay on Switch. I
Yeah.
believe.
Oh, okay. True. I didn't even know that.
I have it.
on
I have it
Switch.
on Switch, and I had to make a
Wait,
whole new
what?
account. I couldn't even.
That's
link
actually
it.
crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Switch is its own.
I didn't
thing.
even. But I didn't even know that like Nintendo had done anything before.
Yeah.
Which is
They released it on E3. It was,
Oh, that's kinda dope.
It was,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
that.
At E3 they released it. They announced that Fortnite was coming on
Mhm.
Switch. But like now, like I've read an article on how players are like kind of like crying out to Nintendo to kind of or like Epic Games to like fix it because it like when you play it on Switch, it's weird.
It's scuffed.
It's like optimized not that well.
Yeah.
It kind of gets a little choppy.
It works, but it
and the
doesn't.
controls are kind of weird,
Yeah.
and
I mean, they might have tried to rush it.
maybe that's a maybe. But it sucks that I can't even link my own account.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how much work into.
I'm not quite sure. Epic Games might have said something about trying to fix the whole like between Xbox and PS4 crossplay.
Yeah.
Whether or not we see that,
I doubt it.
it's tough. Sony
That'd be
like,
dope,
Sony
but-
likes to do Sony
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And they don't like to
Yeah,
come
they
into Microsoft.
don't- yeah, that's the thing.
But
That'd be crazy.
That's a dream.
it's definitely interesting having just the crossplay in general.
No, yeah.
I know Gears of War, mainly Xbox dominant
Yeah.
or only an Xbox exclusive actually.
But you can
Uh,
play with PC players.
Yep.
Too.
When Windows 10, when they branched into the game store, you were actually able to download it on Windows to play Gears of War, and then you could crossplay
That's
between
dope.
Xbox and
Mm-hmm.
PC, and it was pretty big.
Yeah. Now the thing with it is, people say that PC when like shooters have like a higher advantage over console players because of how precise you can be with a mouse.
That's true.
Now you can play. Like I played it on Windows 10. You can play with Xbox players, but you can't play competitive with Xbox players because of that advantage.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's they found a way to really, I feel, with games that cross-play, kind of help both of them, but not allow anybody to get an unfair advantage. You know, playing in a competitive setting against console players. Console players do have, you know, in their own groups, they have the people that can play, and they play very well with controllers. But I feel like Siege for a big one. Siege, you know, dominant on console, dominant on on PC rather. You try to play against each other. I mean, you're gonna hit the high level of console players are gonna be able to hold up with like middle level of PC players.
Certain cap that you can.
Just because there's certain things you can do on a controller or on keyboard and mouse that you can't do on the other.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of aim assist with the controller, not too much, you know, to be drastic. But on PC, the big one with that is you can actually lean without aiming down sights. Yeah. So console and Siege, you're restricted to only being able to lean left and right when you're zoomed in.
That's rough.
Whereas PC, you can aim around, or you can lean around the corner without having to aim in, which it helps.
All right, so let's see what else we got here.
Were you gonna say something before?
No,
or
no,
were
we're
you
gonna
good?
say something. Okay. So you guys want to go into the social media?
We can touch
You guys
base on
want-
the social media.
All right. So what we're trying to do here for ESU Esports is try to get over 100 followers in the next 6 days.
So push it out to all your friends. That's
Push
all
it
we're
out.
trying to
Yeah,
say.
we want this to be shared. We want you guys.
I think that also referring to like what you're talking about in the past like weeks because we started classes up again. I think the president of our club was telling us that we've gained like somewhere like 50 plus like actual followers already, and that like almost 500 people or above or something like that have like viewed our actual account, which is cool.
Yeah. Like our Discord has been like really booming over the summer with freshmen coming in, so that's a big plus. We're really happy about that.
Yeah.
The next thing, I believe this is for our Instagram. We want 600 unique accounts followed or following us. I believe,
Or at least like looking.
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
at least knowing that we exist. So there's that. Okay, I thought something happened to the stream.
It
No, we're
effed
good.
it effed for a
We're
second.
We're good.
We're fine.
So, keep the topics going, guys, in the comments. We want to see what you guys want us to talk about. Games that we're excited for. What are we excited for in the next few months for the semester?
Games in general.
Let's say esports games. So
we want to say competitive level games
Yeah.
that we would like to be in the club first.
We're only getting Smash Ultimate, I believe. Is
Smash
the only
Ultimate,
really competitive game that's coming out. Everything out is.
there's also Call of Duty. There's not a collegiate league, but that's coming out.
There is a competitive league for that. Yeah.
I don't see why there wouldn't be a collegiate league. To be honest, it could definitely be.
It might just be harder to run it.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It could
That's
definitely. I think it could definitely.
It could definitely
be
work. I just don't think there's enough craze around it for it to
Maybe
be.
that's also very
something.
possible.
I think it also depends. I'm not quite sure with the collegiate leagues how many console based games they are. I know there's a huge following on console for Call of Duty.
Oh yeah.
As far
PC is-
as PC, it's
Yeah.
not quite. I don't know if maybe whoever runs the collegiate league and comes up with this, if they're not seeing,
Mm-hmm.
the ample people on PC, if they're only looking at that, or if they're
Mhm.
looking at console games, or what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Could go either way.
Now the interesting thing with Call of Duty on the PC was I was able to play both on the console and the PC. PC is very fast compared to
Yes.
console. It is super fast. I believe the movement's quicker, mobility as a whole is quicker, and it's wild.
Well, it goes back to the thing where you're limited with a controller, but when you have a mouse and keyboard, you're.
But even then,
Yeah.
it just feels...
It's just it's basically unlimitless what you can do.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with Overwatch. I play Overwatch on a console. It's completely different than what I can actually do on a
Mhm.
PC. The
Hamster
movement's
rolling is
quicker.
really fun.
Yeah.
Hamster rolling is my favorite thing
I
to
have
do
to play
now.
that actually. I forgot that's
It's
a thing.
so fun.
I need to do that.
Yeah. Going off that, I do believe there is that aspect. Anybody who only plays console, you can adjust your sensitivity to get your sticks to move how you want them to. Imagine being able to move where when you would tap your stick to the left, you move to exactly where you want to. That's what you're going off on PC.
It's a lot of muscle memory with PC
It
too.
is.
Yeah.
That's the big difference. I think that's why a normal console player that would switch over to PC would have a big struggle because they don't understand how much of you're just training your hand to do what it wants to do. It's actually really strange.
I know a big thing for me when, and it might not seem like that big of a deal. When I came from console to PC, I actually found not having that response. So your controller, when you shoot, it vibrates. When you get shot, it vibrates.
I never thought about
You
that.
have a direct response to you that it kind of helps you realize what you're doing.
Yeah,
When you go to PC, your keyboard and mouse don't vibrate.
unfortunate.
Unfortunately, you
That's
can
actually-
get
I
mouses
never even
that
thought about
vibrate.
that.
The one thing
ever.
is you can get is it's a mechanical keyboard. I forget which keys it is. I believe it's the brown keys. And when you press on it, it gives a little bit of feedback on it, so you know
Right.
you're pressing which key. But with red cherries, it just clicks. It'll just go. You can barely press on it, and it'll just go.
I'm pretty sure brown are the most quietest ones though, because I have a brown.
But brown, I think brown's a hybrid in
I
between.
know green is
Yeah.
green's wild. You click it, it's
Green and
out.
red are really
Yeah,
bad,
yeah.
and then brown's kind of a mid ground.
Yeah,
But I do find that feedback, the not having feedback, essentially, it can mess with some people, especially if you've been playing console for a while. Coming into PC, okay, I can learn keyboard and mouse, and then you're like, oh, I'm shooting, and
Mhm.
sometimes you don't realize you're shooting. You can hear the shooting, but if you're used to your controller vibrating,
Yeah,
it's
you
completely
won't.
different.
yeah.
You have to go off visual feedback and
Right.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different level to train yourself.
Oh
how to
no,
do.
yeah.
Mhm.
And also another thing going from console to PC is I don't know if you have this problem with setting up your keys, hotkeys and stuff like that.
Okay.
I know when I first started learning CS:GO, it was a huge difference.
Mhm.
You'd have to put your grenades on a certain key instead of just cycling through your guns or whatever real quick.
Right.
It's easier. Those people that sit and take the time to learn it and get the muscle memory down have a huge advantage over everyone else.
Yeah.
I feel like the best game to probably explain that to people, because some people might not understand that, would be Fortnite. So if you play Fortnite on the console, you understand with your, I believe it's 5, correct? The 5 slots.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah.
played it in a while.
Yeah.
So you have your 5 gun slots. So imagine your AR is in your 3rd slot and you really need it. well, you have to tap it twice to get to your third slot. PC, you can set it up to where either on your left hand on your keyboard or your right hand on your mouse, you just press one button and you immediately pull that gun up. So the reaction time and the response time is a lot shorter, and you can decisively know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Versus having to quick flip through everything and then maybe mess up, have to go back, whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Like for my key bindings, I have an MMO mouse, so I have like 12 buttons like set up on my left side of my mouse. So my first 5, I have that straight to my guns in my my weapon slots. And then for my keyboard, I have Q set to my walls. I have E set to my stairs, and I have, let's say Q or E. I said Q, E, and C I have set to my floors. So I can just shoot, and then when I need to build, I have Q, E, and I just set up a quick one by one, and it makes it's quick and it's easy.
Yeah, that's definitely another thing. Are your accessories with PC? Console, you can get, there's like, I think there's like elite controllers
there's
and custom
controllers that have like paddles on the back.
A couple additional buttons, but that's all
really
in all, it
that's
is a controller.
The gist of your
And then you have your headset, and really that's it. I believe there's nothing really else. I mean, you can play on a monitor and possibly be able, to see a little better, whatever that may be. But taking the monitor out of it, just your accessories, it's really just a controller and headset.
Yeah.
You could technically play keyboard and mouse on a console. That's weird.
I know.
That's an experience.
A lot of competitive people like say that they shouldn't be able to do it though. I think that's also where console becomes a problem. Like with COD, people online could just be playing with like a mouse and keyboard and
The
just
DPI,
have a better advantage than everyone else.
Your DPI settings are very limited.
Yeah.
There's like fastest, and like slow or something like that. And that's it. It's weird.
Yeah, there's definitely the accessories with a computer. You have your headset still.
Yeah. And
then you have a keyboard and a mouse.
Yeah.
Keyboard and a mouse, not just as plain day as most people would think.
Yeah.
You have everyone kind of thinks of a mouse as the same mouse you would use in any of the computer rooms around
like
here.
an office.
Right, like an office mouse.
2 buttons, 3 buttons.
3 buttons, your 2 sides and your middle. But then you come in and you have different size mouses, which allow your hand to arc different ways. They're longer, wider, depending on how you feel like you want to grip it. There's MMO mouses with 5, 12, 8 buttons on them. There's certain mouses with just like 2 additional buttons. Some have different Mine has a DPI selector on it.
Yeah.
They call it a sniping button, but no one actually uses it for that. It's just one button you can quick press on your mouse to be able to change your DPI to whatever you want to. Me personally, I like using it. I have 1 DPI set for my first person shooters, and then I'll have 1 DPI which is a little more relaxed, which I don't have to move my whole arm around a table.
That's the worst feeling in the world.
I can kind of just browse my internet, not really do anything. And then your keyboard. You have keyboards that are just normal keyboards with numpads on them. There's keyboards that have extra buttons. Mine has 22 extra buttons on it.
Wow, okay.
I
didn't know about that. Like
there's
22 extra.
all kinds of things that can really change how you play the game versus just console.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you have to find out how you can set up your key bindings, like you said. Fortnite, you found it where you can set it up on your mouse and your hand. Some people have to set it all up on their hands. Some people have to set them all up on their mouse. It
True.
really depends.
Preference.
I know for Battle.right, I don't know if anyone knows about that. That's a fun game, by the way.
Oh
Free
my
to play.
goodness. We
Free to play
played
on Steam.
so much of that
That's
game.
a
I don't even want
fun
to talk
game.
about it.
That's what we need to have competitively. Yo, we need to have.
We
that.
get back into this.
We can get back into
Okay,
it.
okay.
I am always down to play Battle.right. But my cousin, when he and I play, he has his usually like you play with W, A, S, and D. He moved it all over 1, so he has more buttons in his range to use.
Right.
And I never even thought about doing that, but I think that's a cool idea to use for like some certain games.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I know my keyboard all the way on the left, where most keyboards would just end, I have another section of it's about like 10 keys.
Mm-hmm.
So my keyboard is actually made for MMOs. So that way you can have all slots over
Talking
here
about macros.
that are
Yeah, no, I'm
bound
just
to
gonna bring that up
random
next.
different
Yeah.
things.
Mhm.
And you can move over, and you won't have to go right in the keyboard. It's easier to go left sometimes.
Okay, so Red the Cho'Gath says I have mouse weight. He has weights in his mouse.
Yeah.
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 Mouse weights. It depends. Some people like them. Some people don't like them.
I had it in my first mouse I got, and I instantly took them out. I couldn't
That was
stand
same
it.
here for me.
It just felt so weird. It like put like a strain on my wrist for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah.
I believe that also comes to the fact of when you play console, everyone holds the controller the same.
Yeah.
When you come to PC, you have different styles of play. You have your wrist players, you have your arm players, you have a combination, then you have the grips on the mouse, you have claw grip, you have all kinds of grips. There's like 5 different grips. I have really no idea. There's palm grips. It completely depends.
There's I'm a part of a group on Facebook, Melee Hell. Awful group, by the way. Someone posted a video of a guy who was playing Smash, like with the controller upside down,
Interesting.
and you can see the screen of him playing, and he's doing everything better than I could, holding it right side up.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's weird. Like he is.
I don't even know how to say that. I don't know how you are coming from an FPS background, but I like more arm aiming
Okay.
because wrist aiming like puts a strain on my wrist and it just kills it.
This guy's saying like he's like a lifter. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah. If you have a small
so-
space, that's what you have to do.
That depends too. So there are mouse pad differences. There's mouse pads that are the size of this paper. There's mouse pads that are
Size of
this
your
big.
desk.
There's
Or you
mouse
have-
pads that are the size of this.
Or you have a mouse mat, like
Yeah,
your
you-
boy,
or the
and
full
it's like
table.
this
Yeah.
long.
So-
how much just fell?
I think that definitely comes to the space that you have, or maybe he just
I don't know
finds
what that is.
maybe you just find it comfortable to play that way. I'm a person that I kind of limit myself to about a 1 to 2 inch gap around my mouse pad that my just muscle memory I've realized.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that also comes with DPI. I don't know if you like to be a lifter, if that's just something you've come comfortable to.
I could never do that.
I
My parents would
never
yell
do
at
that
me
either.
because it was too loud. It'd be like bang, bang, bang.
I mean, it depends on the
So I
I feel like I
kind
break
of
my
lifting.
mouse.
Yeah, I had to get out of that habit real
It
quick.
does depend on the kind of lifting. If you're an arm player and you lift a lot, you know, you're going like this, that could be a problem.
I lift
Uh,
keyboards.
I also don't know what kind of background you are. I don't know what kind of games you play. Some games that might help, some games it may
Wait,
hinder you.
he's saying there's a Smash player who plays with his mouth. You know about that guy?
There might be a.
There-
it might
I
be a
don't know
league
about-
player actually.
Did you see
There's
the guy
a-
who played
there's a
StarCraft with
pub-
his toes?
Yeah,
That was-
there's
that
a
was
PUBG
good.
player that plays with his tongue.
Oh, I've seen about
Oh,
that.
that he.
How's that
His
even
story's
work?
because
How do you
he's
see?
he's like paralyzed from like the shoulders down.
Oh, okay.
So when he has like this device that was crafted by somebody,
I mean, that's kind of cool.
and like
though.
literally all the controls, he literally just touches with his tongue.
Wow,
Wow.
that's interesting.
He's just talking about he's just talking about moving
but-
his mouse in small mouse space, and then up
I
here
don't
he's
know,
talking
no,
about
no.
macros for
Yeah,
World of
yeah.
Warcraft and WoW.
Okay, so Grim Blaze says my buddy has a foot pedal that corresponds with macros for popping
Wait, a
certain
foot
combos.
pedal? Okay, I
A
didn't
foot
read
pedal,
that.
Yeah,
Like a
that's why I
rock-
wanted to bring
like
it
a
up.
rock
Like
band
a rock
foot
band
pedal?
foot pedal. That's what I'm assuming for macros or combos in.
I mean,
League.
you're
so how do you feel
usually-
about that?
You don't
Do
use
it.
That's actually sweet. I'm not gonna lie.
Like a foot pedal.
That's
like,
why I wanted to
just-
bring it up.
Like a rock band foot pedal.
Well, I was thinking like I play.
Okay,
like,
what kind of foot pedal is this?
Yeah, 'cause-
I'm assuming it's like a rock band foot pedal or
There's
something.
that, but like I play like guitar, and there's like a foot pedal that has like a bunch of like buttons
buttons
laid
on it.
out.
Does
So
that
that's
like,
what I'm
is that like
thinking.
a? Is it USB connected? So can you connect it into?
maybe.
I just
computer?
wonder why.
It's
Like,
usually just like I don't even know what it's
like when
called.
I'm playing
It's like
like,
an
for
offset.
League or WoW, like for League, I feel like you don't like you already press so few buttons. Like maximum, you're pressing like QWER, and then like maybe that max
It
you
could
could have
be-
6 items, right?
It could
Yeah.
be a
And then
thing
DNF for flashing,
where,
whatever else.
I mean, if you put like an hourglass on like a foot pedal,
I
just
mean,
like
true.
instantly.
He's saying mechanical
Three
USB foot control action
I have
3
no
triple
idea
switch
what
pedal
this is.
HID.
Someone
free
give me a
drive-
link.
Something like
that.
Okay,
Link
well,
that
all
I
I know
wanted.
is like when I'm like for League, I mean, preference, right? Tops all, but like League, you don't have that many buttons. For certain WoW classes, like it's only like you only really need like 5. So I mean,
it could be a thing where like you have a stun and you have like a follow-up combo that you would always do, like maybe
And then
with
with your-
Rise, and with your
I
foot
mean, you're
you
not
just
using your
press
foot
it.
anyway.
So
I
like
mean,
you just
why
stun
not?
and then you just press it and then it does everything for
Is
you.
it funny how I was thinking the
Oh,
same
yes,
thing?
Oh,
but he
okay.
actually linked it.
We could probably pull it
Pull
up.
it up on your phone. Pull it
Didn't
up on your
know if. Wait, it's a.
Oh,
It's a.
if links
I'm
work.
nervous.
No, links,
I'm-
links are perfect.
All right, we're
It's-
currently
it's-
looking
It's
at
a
this.
thick. It's
Wait,
a thick link.
Wait, it's a.
What-
Okay, so
Oh,
yeah, it's kind of like
Oh,
Oh,
wait, this
oh.
is sweet actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
it's kind of like the guitar thing you're talking about.
Yeah. $50.
So does this man
That's not
just
bad.
memorize where?
It's just very
Like-
interesting.
that is very interesting.
Yeah.
Like-
I'm not quite sure how like a game like League where you do have
I mean,
so few
yeah, I can
few
see it for a while, I
things.
guess, because like for example, like I play Rogue in WoW, right? So a lot of times, like you have clickers, which is like I would say the newer players of WoW, but when you're playing, like a lot of times people will, if you hold left and right click, your character will move automatically.
Okay.
So all of your left hand is normally spells, right? So let's say my first damage spell is this, whatever. It's like Q, F. Like I know, for example, like my stealth is on F. So maybe, I don't know. Like I don't know what you would need your like the foot to be used for, but
He put a second one in the chat. This is what it looks like. It's like a half of it.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I guess
This is USB.
again, I guess preference tops all always. So if somebody's like used to like,
That's true.
I mean, maybe it gives them an advantage. I don't know.
I'm not quite sure in a like a competitive setting
Yeah.
how that would
I don't think it would work.
like how
I don't think it would be allowed.
Well, we'll say for the sake of it, it is allowed. How that would really, I guess, give him an advantage.
I don't know.
or-
I
mean, yeah,
really
like I
don't.
said, like you said, preference trumps all. But
I mean, he probably has something figured
Not,
out.
he's
we
saying
don't.
it's not allowed competitively.
Since we're
Yes.
talking about that, since we're talking about like advantages and different ways to play, there was like controversy with Smash from this player Hacks, where he stopped using a controller and used like a fighter stick, or is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Like a fight
Like,
stick?
yeah. Something
Yeah.
like I know what you're talking about though.
Yeah, and he used it, and it was like programmed for Smash, and it would do like
Combos automatically.
like not like combos, but like say wave dashing. There would be like an input where it would just wave dash and like stuff
like-
like
I feel like
single button
that's
input?
that's a no
maybe
go.
it's I don't know.
I feel like a single
What is
input
a wave
for wave
dash? I
dashing
don't
is
know. What
really
is that?
bad. Wave dashing
Yeah.
is very hard to do. I've watched somebody do it.
Is that the
and
thing where they go
It's not-
back and forth really fast?
It's not even that hard. It's literally just two buttons.
What is it?
It looked
Alright.
way harder than
Wave dash is just like a movement option
Okay.
where your character kind of just like drift like,
Uh-huh.
a distance like across the.
Is it the thing we do like this? You like spin around and come out the other side?
No. It's like you do like a short hop, and then you quickly air dodge back towards the ground, and if you do it well enough, your character looks like it just shifts.
Gotcha.
It just moves, and like characters have like different wave dash lengths. Like say Peach has a very poor wave dash length, so she doesn't really use it that much. But a character like Luigi has a very long wave dash length, and he could go like across.
That's like a whole thing.
He could go across the whole stage, about half the stage with just one
That's
wave
wild.
dash. Yeah,
I
and it
feel-
gives him a lot of options to do out of it. Like he could do any smash attack out of a wave dash. You could do like a jab or a tilt.
Can you do
out
like
of
an
a
up
wave
air?
dash. Up air, you can jump out of it. So technically, yes, you could do like any aerial from a wave dash.
Yeah.
That's why it's powerful.
There's
I
just so much
think
movement that it
that would.
allows.
I think that would come into play though. For a wave dash, I've never played Smash. So for a wave dash, is it like a multiple input? So you
Yeah,
need
yeah.
you need
Yeah, that's
multiple
that's
things?
broken.
Yeah.
So then
this is a
that
clear advantage.
then
right?
that would be,
Yeah.
I believe, considered under a macro.
Yeah,
So then that would just depend whether or not the league has rules against
Macros.
macros.
yeah. He was able to use it for some tournaments, but they eventually
We're like, nah.
they eventually told Hacks that he couldn't use it. So now we just like back on controller.
Yeah.
I mean, because it definitely comes into play. We've had a couple of those controversies in the Siege community with competitive players using macros because there at a time there is, but before there was no real rule about using macros because they just kind of thought like you're aiming in and shooting. So really, macros weren't really going to help you
Yeah.
too much, and they were kind of just thought of them as like keybinds. So certain players were creating macros, recoil macros. So essentially, every gun that has recoil, they would have it automatically programmed in that the mouse would pull down. So the game would think they're pulling down their mouse to adjust for
Wait,
recoil.
that's actually OP.
Yeah.
Right. the players would then use those in tournaments and gain advantages
Yeah.
because they wouldn't have to move their mouse.
That's so wild. That's
Now-
actually so broken.
And a couple players got banned for it.
Yeah, this is
For
definitely
using the
bannable.
macros and things like that. And now there's rules against you're not allowed to use
Is that
the
the-
macros.
That's what it looks like. So
Okay.
I don't think there's actually like a key binding to do the wave dash on one button, but the Y and the L.
That's
they're
like
right
so
next
much
to each
easier
other.
than doing it on
Yeah,
a
they're
controller.
right next to each other. So literally just a
Yeah.
quick boom.
Yeah, wave
and
dash.
and you can do it. And hit like literally just hold like these two buttons in.
Yeah.
Just hold those. Click L Y or Y L,
Yeah.
and
It's over.
just wave dash.
That's actually way easier, I feel like.
Yeah.
Another thing with the whole macro thing in CS:GO, before they had like certain smokes to like block off areas. If any of you know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably do. So you would have to walk to a certain area and then look up
And then
like a
You
certain.
have to be
like
very-
a
you
certain
have to be
it's very
precise.
specific.
Right,
It's
yeah.
a specific pixel. Or it would be like you have to run and then throw it. So people came up with macros. You can actually bind a key to do like those specific movements, like move forward and then like look up and throw. And people figured out ways to type those in. So you'd have like key binding on 0, and you just press it, and it would do that specific smoke for that map.
that's actually wild.
They ended up not allowing it. It was allowed for a while, and then they realized,
It's kind of
wait,
OP.
people should actually put the time in to learn
Learn this,
Yeah,
yeah.
learn
Oh,
these
yeah.
instead of just like having a macro for it.
Yeah.
Or it should be something that's so like skill intensive that if
Yeah.
you screw it up, it just shuts down your play.
Well, yeah, because that's so huge. for
Actually,
CS:GO.
yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah.
about
Right.
that.
I mean,
Wow.
especially because I've played a little bit of CS:GO. Well, actually, I guess 1,000 hours, but a little bit of CS:GO.
A little bit of
CS:GO.
All right, compared to some people I know, that's
Yeah,
a little bit of
that's a little
CS:GO.
bit. I could honestly say I spent probably about 100 hours learning different smokes
Oh,
and flashes
yeah.
and everything like that. But there are some smokes rather that you throw 3 smokes, you can shut an
Got the whole
entire
site down,
yeah.
yeah.
You should have whole defense.
Like
down.
Mirage,
Like, they have to.
like
they have
Mirage,
to
that's
shut-
so huge.
The Mirage
Yeah.
smokes are the big one because
Yeah.
you buy 3 smokes,
Yeah.
throw 3 smokes, you can
Dude.
shut off the stairs, tellers, and jungle,
Yep.
or you can even throw it mid-sight to kind of block off
Mhm.
tellers as well.
Yeah.
But it's more on triple box, and you're taking sometimes 10 seconds to figure that smoke layout. Where if you have macros,
Yeah,
It's
It's just
instant.
it gets
Yeah.
and you just run
It-
right
yeah.
on, and then
That's
it's.
wild.
Sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes you have fast smokes, and you still have
Yeah.
to wait for the smokes to pop.
right?
But there's a lot of specific smokes that gave way too many advantages. It's like a few seconds, and a few seconds is like the world in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, especially if you have once the macros are created, obviously people will share the inputs
Yeah, of
and
course.
everything for
Oh,
the
yeah.
macros. So if you bring a person who's fairly new to the game but not quite at the point where they don't know what they're doing, give them that macro input. Now they can throw smokes like a pro,
Yeah.
and it creates a real disadvantage versus having them take the time to learn the smokes
Yeah.
and the flashes.
I would spend about half an hour just to learn just smokes, not even like mollies or flashes, just smokes.
Oh no, just smokes. It's so like the secondaries in that game is so skill
So
intensive.
important,
It's
yeah.
not even funny.
It
That-
is.
Like
That's
you have
the skill
underhand stuns and like all this other stuff. It just
And then-
it gets really in depth.
Then there's like the pop flashes
Oh,
and everything
my
like that, like learning how to do them and.
Or do you guys? I don't know if you guys know about this. I don't know if they patched this out too. This was maybe last year. You could jump on somebody else's head, and you could do this thing
Yeah.
called the
Speed
it's a
running,
be
yeah.
a boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boost.
The
So
run
you would
boost.
just like run. Yeah, you'd run, and then it would like just shoot you off, and you
Mhm.
just get like thrown into the site.
That's funny.
It would just create so much disruption. It's so fun to watch, but I feel like it's bad for
Well,
the
that's
game.
like in the one CS:GO major. I think it was Fnatic. I'm not sure who Olafmeister was playing with at that point, but on Overpass, where you boost it up in spawn, and they were like, "Well, technically you can't do that," and he's like, "Well, we didn't glitch into it. We were
Yeah, it's
literally
still part of
allowed.
the game. Yeah.
We were allowed to just boost straight up,
Yeah.
and it just created a line of sight." And they were like, "Well, I mean, technically you didn't break any rules, and they allowed
Yeah, that's just
everything
game
to keep
knowledge.
going."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just game knowledge, and he did pull everything off.
Yeah. That's wild though.
Yes. Yeah. So we have about 10 minutes left. Anything else we want to talk about? We did say Smash as one of like the upcoming games.
I don't know what else there is. Hopefully,
I'm so down to talk about Smash for 10 minutes.
Smash for 10 minutes.
Smash for 10 minutes.
I have no idea.
This is gonna be the greatest game in the world.
All I know about Smash Ultimate is that you get to air dodge, and it's like punishable.
You could do air dodge in every game, but they brought back directional air dodge.
Yeah, that.
So when people think of that, they think we can wave dash. But like people, like pros have tried it out in the Invitational, and they said it's like laggy, and like they want it to be like slightly tweaked, but like they don't really care about it. What they want is that they want like hit stun to be longer. They want I forget what it was. I forget what people said, but they just want these little tweaks, and the game will be like perfect because it's already faster. Laning lag is really reduced, which makes it faster as a whole. Movement's faster, so like when they showed off Ganondorf, he's incredibly fast, and he's a heavy, so that's scary. That's
probably
scary.
not good.
It's not good. Like he's disgusting. Pikachu.
Actually, that's the one thing that's interesting is the like the 3 starters, like the original starters.
Yeah.
Like I forget what the first one's Squirtle, right? It's like Squirtle,
Squirtle,
Ivysaur,
Ivy,
and then Charizard.
Charizard.
Yeah, that's so
they
sweet.
got buffed.
That's so sweet.
What people like, I didn't know about this, but in Brawl, like if you had your Pokemon out too long, they fatigued and their moves got weaker and they were slower.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know
not
that
at all.
They took that out. And what they also put in is that you can change Pokemon like on the fly, like in the air. So you can start off a combo with Squirtle and just like instantly
It's
change.
kind of like
it.
super.
change
It's
it.
kind of
And
like
it's
super
quick.
fighters.
It's a
Oh,
quick
yeah,
change.
yeah.
Fighters.
It's a very quick change
Yeah.
compared to Brawl.
So it's just all about like. Do you feel like Smash now with the changes is going to be like more about like juggling people, or is it more just going to be about?
I mean,
like,
juggling
kind of
is
the
the part.
standard. Yeah.
It's going to be faster and it's going to be more fun to watch competitively.
And that's insane because Smash is already so entertaining.
Yeah, and a lot of people are really hyped about this game because of how much like Sakurai, the creator of Smash, wasn't really about competitive. He was more about it being like a party game, like a fun game that you could just play with friends. But people are like, this is competitive as hell.
Yeah.
This is great, and Sakurai can use this as his competitive now. Because in Smash 4, he had to like dumb it down a little bit because of the specs for the 3DS. He had to optimize it for 3DS.
Yeah.
But now, since the Switch has that out of the equation, Sakurai can
perfectly
just
fine.
go all out.
You can
That's
go
wild.
all in.
And I'm so excited
So-
because they've added so many things for competitive.
They're gonna. So you'd have to play the Switch remote, right?
No.
You
You can
don't.
play. I imagine what you can play with is the 2 Joy-Cons that say like separated or together on the controller grip. I imagine you could play with one, which is fine because like
So you think that's
playing with
gonna-
a Wiimote was garbage
Yeah.
because you had like a
Yeah,
D-pad.
you could play
and not
game,
an
but you could
analog.
play with the
GameCube.
Nintendo, yeah,
Yeah,
GameCube.
you can play
So
with
do you
the
think that's
GameCube.
gonna mess with people like meta-wise, or are they gonna still be
No.
able to plug in a GameCube?
Everyone, I can assure you that 95%, probably 99% of players are going to play with a GameCube controller. It's just that.
I think
much
it's
of
just a
staple.
comfort thing too.
It's also like like
because they've been playing Melee for so long.
Do you think that'd kill the
before,
game if
other
they're
things
like, oh,
came
we're not
out.
allowing GameCube remotes? It's not.
No,
compatible.
they've
I don't,
already,
it,
they've
it,
already
wouldn't,
said.
it wouldn't kill the game.
No, I'm saying,
People,
but do you think that people would be like
no,
triggered?
no. People, I think
Eh,
maybe in the beginning, but like these competitive players that are like on the top of their game will
They're gonna play
adapt.
it
They'll adapt to it.
Yeah.
It's perfectly fine.
yeah, but like, they said in the E3 trailer, like GameCube controllers are going to.
That was so crazy. I was not expecting that. I was
Yeah.
watching it and I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what is
So
this?
excited.
Splatoon character? And then I was like, wait,
Yeah.
Pog.
I'm really sad that it comes out so late in the semester because I want to like play tournaments up
I
here.
want to Switch, but like, I feel like I'll never use it.
A Switch. Dude, I bought a Switch over the summer. I'm in love with it. Like I'm playing Super Mario Odyssey with my girlfriend, and we're having a ball with it.
I just want to play Breath of the Wild.
I,
Honestly.
my roommate has that. Guess what? I'm gonna be jacking as soon as I'm done Odyssey.
Now, you mentioned when you was talking about Smash about meta.
Yeah.
So, how does meta shift in, I'll say, League, because you all are
Riot.
League
It's
fans.
Riot.
How does per season, how do they decide meta shifts?
Not
or
even.
Seems
whatever?
like they don't even decide, to be
It's
honest.
not even season. It's patch.
Yeah.
Patch by patch, the meta changes. So
Oh,
you can get good at this champion for like 4 weeks. Probably not even 4 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks.
You could give it like a week or two, and then they'll be like, "Oh, we're just gonna give it
And
the
then
hammer."
nerfed.
Yeah.
So now that champion's out of the equation. So now you have all these new champions that kind of just rise up from that nerf or nerfs, whatever. and now you have to learn all these new
Just
champions.
viability. It's
Yeah.
constantly changing.
Do they implement new champions
Often?
regularly in league?
About maybe
Yeah.
a month or 2 months.
Does it? I feel
I
like
think
it's
it's
longer
like 2
than that.
months. There's
I feel
like
like it's 2
there's like
months.
It's
four-
consistent enough where you're like, okay, new champion's coming out soon. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
it's never like, where's this new champion they did?
I believe the newest champion hasn't been like released yet or like announced yet.
Isn't the last one?
ADCs don't exit.
No.
I
No, that's
80,
what I want.
80
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I can't-
You can't read your handwriting, Jose. Alright.
ADCs don't exist right now. Vlad is yeah. I mean, true. I mean,
I
we
stopped
don't.
playing
I
League
don't talk
because
about
of that.
season 8, dude.
Yeah,
Season
it's
8.
bad.
I couldn't get into the groove with season 8, and
No,
then
you just
I
you're
left
just upset your
Clutch
team
Gaming.
didn't do any well.
I left for vacation for a week. I came back, and that's when this whole monkey fiesta
Yeah.
began.
It's a clown
Vlad
fiesta.
80 carry. I'm just like, what? I
Yeah,
left for
it's
a
so
week, and the
interesting.
meta just.
New bot lane.
it's actually so interesting how like okay, so prior to season 8, I feel like the conversation of League is dead was like nowhere, and then as soon as season 8 came out and there was like this like kind of like League's dumb and broken or whatever, it's like the meta's so bad. I feel like it was immediately like League's dying, but it like I don't know.
I feel like it wasn't though.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
feel like
I feel like people are just
overreacted. They're like,
overreact.
oh, we want something fresh, and then they bring out something fresh, and they're like, oh, we want what was before back. Like we want ADCs back. I can't play the game anymore. And it's just like
I can't-
people
I
are
can't
always
play
gonna
the game.
complain about
I
something.
guarantee
Really?
season 9 will be League's not gonna die. It's just
I mean, League will never.
I don't know if you guys have seen like Scar's reaction to season 8, but
no, I haven't.
Oh no.
something that I hardly agree with is that there's too much damage in the game for like I guess.
I feel like
some
there is.
assassins.
I feel like there is too much damage in the game.
There's
'Cause
too
there's
much
tanks that
damage.
get bursted down, and I don't think that should.
Yeah, but
happen
would you rather
at all.
have? I feel like it was that, and then like you had like season 5 or 4 and 6 where it was like tanks were just gods. Like
Well, it's because in season 3 we had all these burst champions, like Faker in.
I feel like there's no happy medium though, right?
like
Choose
Faker
something and then
in
just-
season 3 just kind of like dumpstered on anybody
Yeah.
on an assassin. Like
I mean-
assassins were just the game.
I mean, you're not wrong, but I don't
Ready?
know.
This is also what he said. Assassins get broken. Riot nerfs assassins. Tanks are the
Tanks
next
are
things
broken.
up.
Yeah.
Of course.
Tanks get broken. What counters tanks? Or I should have said tanks counters assassins. Tanks become the next broken thing. What counters tanks? 80 carries. They have the armor pen. They have all.
Yeah.
They have the damage sources.
They have the more
So-
sustained damage.
Tanks get nerfed. ADCs become gods.
Yeah.
What counters 80 carries? Assassins.
It's
It's
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a
always-
cycle.
It's a cycle.
It's
it
bad.
doesn't end, and it's awful. And you
Sure.
can never find a medium to
Yeah.
satisfy everyone.
A lot of people think that season 2 is the best though, like meta wise.
No,
I
I
love season.
I
two.
can
Season
agree
two
with
is
that. Yeah.
It was a beautiful
Season
time
2
to
was
play.
amazing. It was so fun to play.
And for a donkey reference, in season 4, they finally rebalanced the minions.
The reason I ask about the meta with League is the meta with Siege is a lot different. So, I don't play League. I don't play a lot of those games. I only play
Yeah.
Siege.
You're not missing.
Corbin, what do you think of the
So-
siege meta? Since you guys had that 1v1 recently, and you absolutely wiped the.
Oh
floor
yeah,
with
I won.
Caleb.
I beat Caleb in a 1v1.
Yeah, you didn't
I've
know
only
about
played
that?
Siege for a week, and
Yeah, he
The
said give me 1v1.
stipulations were I have to play Recruit with no attachment though.
oh
so
no, but I played Recruit too.
No, you didn't.
No, I
You
didn't.
brought a Blackbeard versus a Recruit. That is not okay. You can't do that.
Blackbeard do?
Blackbeard has a shield on top of his gun, man.
The meta with Siege is
I think it's
definitely a
pretty
lot
good.
different. So every season we expect we get a new map
Mhm.
and we get 2 new operators.
Yeah.
And then when that comes, usually mid-season or at the end of the season, we'll get some nerfs to certain operators and things like that.
Mhm.
But
We have, like, 2
never,
minutes.
since our operators are solely defined in what they do,
Mhm.
we never actually have a league situation where it's like, oh, they nerf all the assassins, they nerf
True.
the tanks,
Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. It's more like, oh, Blackbeard's broken,
Yeah.
nerf him, and then they nerf him, and everyone's like, wow, he sucks now, but we'll still figure out how to play him.
Yeah.
It kind of happens sometimes. They're getting better at that.
Yeah.
Definitely, like when Blackbeard first came out, he was really broken. He was really
Oh
overpowered.
yeah, I remember that.
He had a 2-shot DMR, and he had a shield on his face that it took a whole mag to break. And then he
Yeah.
has a second one he can put on.
Yeah.
It's completely and utter broken. Now the new meta shift, they're bringing in a defender that has a shield
Yeah.
that can block off doorways and like deny entry there. And
That's
then,
cool.
I'm coming back to see you.
And
Yeah,
then
I
they
don't know
have they have an attacker where he has a blowtorch. So a common thing is bandit tricking, where when you play bandit, he has a battery. You stay behind a reinforced wall, and you listen for them to put a breach on
Yeah.
there, whether it's a Habana or a thermite, which hard breach through it. Then once you hear that, you put your battery down, it zaps it,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. What Maverick does now is his blowtorch can't be tricked. So you can go on the bottom of the wall and torch open a hole. You can go in the middle of the wall,
Yeah.
torch open a hole,
That's
so on and so
crazy.
forth. You could shoot through it, throw a
That's
grenade
interesting.
through it,
So
whatever
it's
it may
basically
be.
just what I forget what it's called, the pico holes. I don't know what they're called. I don't remember.
The
like
murder holes?
Yeah, murder
Yeah,
holes.
it's kind of like a murder hole, but the way it works is you can essentially walk along the wall, so you can create like a line of sight.
That's
you can
cool.
draw circles and
That's kind of cool. Though.
That's
draw
cool.
through
That's
and
actually
shoot
pretty
through,
sweet.
and
Yeah.
it's definitely interesting. They like shifting the meta
Yeah.
a lot.
That's a good thing though, because it keeps
Not
the game fresh.
not to a point where it's breaking the game. There's some operators that it can break, but they usually
Riot doesn't break League at all.
All right. I think we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
yes.
So, want to thank you all for watching today. Our next podcast is going to be next Sunday at 6 p.m. Hopefully, you guys will be there. We'll be
Also-
right here in our little kitchenette, and we're going to talk about more video games and esports and ESU stuff like that. So,
tell your friends.
yep.
Follow our social media.
Tell your family.
Social media.
Follow our social media.
ESU Esports.
Grandmothers
Instagram.
are always welcome to come into the chat.
Absolutely.
Get us views.
Yeah, want to get some cooking
I think
recipes? We'll talk about that.
We have 5. I think we maxed at 9. So
Yeah.
we'll try to improve on that next week.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Bye.